Since I've already completed the Dark Souls trilogy, as well as Elden Ring and Demon Souls, I'd say I'm pretty experienced in the world of Bandai Namco video games. Today I'm reviewing the Dark Souls trilogy. If you guys like this, I'll review Elden Ring and Demon Souls in a separate video. I hope you enjoy. Dark Souls. It's the one that started it all, not counting Demon Souls. Dark Souls is a good game with good bosses and levels. Mostly. You see, the levels are good, but after roughly the first half of the game, the levels feel like they're not reaching full potential. I'm looking at you, Lost Isolith. But the first half is great. The bosses in the first half aren't too difficult, but to new players, they can be kinda hard. I'll be honest, the first levels are kinda linear. But hey, it is still the beginning after all. And I have an unpopular opinion. I enjoyed my time in Blighttown. Hey, stop! But yes, I enjoyed Blighttown, because I think it just kinda looks cool. Like the idea of a rotting swamp beneath a town, made entirely out of clapped together wooden planks, just gives me the feeling that, yeah, you're unsafe here. Moving on to the bosses. I think they're pretty good, especially Ornstein and Smough. And yeah, cry all you want about how they're impossible or something and not fair. Shut it! They're fair. I mean, Ornstein is fast, and he does hit hard. Not as hard as Smough. You see, he's slow, but can actually delete you in one hit if you're not careful. Outside a bed of chaos is burning chaotic garbage. But enough about the rage-inducing iron guys, and more about the combat. I guess it's fine. Not saying it's bad, but it 100% improves throughout the titles. Oh, and almost forgot about Artorias. Just stop crying and level up vitality. My final rating for Dark Souls is an 8 out of 10. One word. Hitboxes. Okay, but in all seriousness, which demon possessed the hitboxes in this game? Was it you? Maybe you? Besides that, starting with the levels, they're okay. But oh my god, the boss runs! I mean, the boss run to the blue smelter demon is straight up delusional! There are iron guys that deal way too much damage. Iron guys with spells that slow you down and make you heavy roll. And to top it all off, when you get to the boss himself, your hitboxes get possessed by Satan! Okay. I need to calm down. Anyways, yes, boss runs are horrible, but besides that, the bosses are pretty alright. Hell, some of them are a little too easy. Like the last giant, Prowling Magus and the old Iron King. Oh, I almost forgot about the root of all evil, the devil's stomping grounds, the area that can go burn in a ditch, the frigid outskirts. You don't know where you're going. There are Santa's reindeer ripoffs everywhere, and even getting to the area is hard enough. But as my script so far has only been caps, you might think that I don't like this game. And you're wrong. I mostly enjoyed this game, because it was the second Souls game I ever played. The first one being Dark Souls 3. Let's move on to the actual bosses, shall we? They're alright. Now, I had the full-on Unga Bunga build, so you already know I one-shot basically everything that even looked at me wrong. So I might not get the actual difficulty the bosses were supposed to be, cause I would just beat them too fast. But with my experience, I can confidently say that most of the bosses were pretty easy. Most hard parts of bosses was just getting to them. And oh boy, you already know what I'm gonna say. Fume Knight. My Unga Bunga build called for not the Great Club, even though it's super OP, not the Dragon Tooth, even though it's super OP, but the Fume Ultra Greatsword, baby, which meant that if I wanted to complete my Unga Bunga build, I needed to beat Fume Knight, and I did. After, I'm not reading that number, and it paid off. But seriously, don't come near this boss if you don't want to get his weapon. Beat the DLC, or if you just want a challenge. The combat, again, is fine, but again, it still improves. My final rating for Dark Souls 2 is a 6 out of 10. Dark Souls 3. Now this game, in my opinion, is the best one out of the three. Not because of the graphics, although it makes many areas even more gorgeous, but because of the atmosphere. I mean, especially the Cathedral of the Deep. It's so freaking cool! Just the thought of a dark, corrupted cathedral with giants trying to punch you to infinity and beyond makes me shiver. And Arafel, beauty. Just beauty. And Pontiff, he's fast, has infinite stamina, but can be parried, making the fight easier. Also, he clones himself after half of the fight. The Ring City is also amazing, but I'm kind of disappointed that most of the area is just a poisonous swamp. They could have done so much more with the entire, city. Coincidentally, the most spectacular boss in the game lies here. Half-Life! Wait, no, I mean Half-Life! Wait, no, that's wrong. It's Gale. You are literally fighting him in the remains of the Ring City. Suddenly, in his second phase, lightning strikes everywhere. Actually, mostly in the middle of the arena. And it's great. I was having so much fun fighting him, which doesn't happen that often in bosses. The other bosses are great too. The Nameless King is one of the best bosses in the game. Sure, you can say that it's hard or something, and it is when you first fight him, but the more you fight him, the easier it gets. I'm done. Oh crap, that's how bosses work. I kind of find it funny how the level theme can drastically change. Like, 1 second, you could be in a swamp filled to the brim with undiscovered viruses and diseases. And then the other second, you could be in a cathedral with big giant dudes and worm guys. The combat is very good, with cool weapon arts and stuff. The weapons are pretty cool, and some of them are literally something from an anime. And yes, Guts Greatsword, funny. My final rating for Dark Souls 3 is a 9 out of 10.